Have you ever wondered why Nathuram Godse assassinated Mahatma Gandhi, one of the most iconic figures in world history? This question has been the center of numerous debates and discussions since the fateful day in January 1948, when the world lost an apostle of peace. The man known globally as Mahatma, or the Great Soul, was revered for his tireless struggle for India's independence. His assassination by Nathuram Godse, a fellow countryman, was an event that sent shockwaves across the globe. The controversy and widespread shock that followed this event was unparalleled, leaving a deep scar in the collective consciousness of mankind. The unexpectedness of Godse's act and his candid confession thereafter added to the complexity and intrigue of this historical event. In order to understand the motivations behind this shocking event, we need to delve into Godse's perspective as presented in his book, Why I Assassinated Mahatma Gandhi. Nathuram Godse was not a typical assassin. His upbringing was deeply rooted in a conservative Hindu family, where values of nationalism were instilled from a young age. Born in the late 19th century, his early life was marked by devotion to his country and a deep-seated belief in its potential. His political affiliations were just as passionate. Godse was a dedicated member of the Hindu Mahasabha Party, an organization known for its fervent nationalism. This association shaped his ideologies, molding him into a staunch advocate for a Hindu nation. Godse's commitment to his cause was unwavering, his beliefs unshakable. He was a man who believed in the sanctity of his religion and the sovereignty of his nation above all. It was these convictions that led him down a path few dare to tread. Godse's fervent nationalism, deeply intertwined with his political ideologies, set the stage for the tragic events that were to unfold. Godse's book reveals a complex web of motivations behind the assassination. To truly understand the motive, we must delve into Godse's criticisms of Gandhi's policies. Godse, a fervent nationalist, was deeply troubled by Gandhi's approach to the partition of India in 1947. He believed Gandhi's non-violent resistance, or satyagraha, was not the right response to the British rule. He saw it as a strategy that weakened India, hindering its ability to stand up to British oppression. This belief was further cemented when the country was divided into India and Pakistan, a decision Godse felt was a direct result of Gandhi's policies. Furthermore, Godse perceived a favoritism in Gandhi's actions towards the Muslim community. He interpreted Gandhi's support for the Khilafat movement, a campaign by Indian Muslims for the preservation of the Ottoman Caliphate following World War I, as a betrayal to Hindus. Godse was also critical of Gandhi's efforts to secure a fair share of resources for Pakistan during the partition. He saw these actions as a sign of Gandhi's disregard for the Hindu community, contributing to a sense of resentment. Godse's grievances went beyond these political issues. He accused Gandhi of creating a cult of personality, where his moral authority went unchallenged. Godse believed that Gandhi's influence was so pervasive that it stifled any form of dissent or criticism, creating an environment where only one voice mattered, and that was Gandhi's. These grievances fueled Godse's decision to assassinate Gandhi. He saw himself as a protector of his nation, a defender of the Hindu community. In his eyes, Gandhi's policies were a threat to the very fabric of the nation he loved. He believed that the only way to protect his nation was to remove this threat. It's important to note that these motivations are not universally accepted. They are Godse's interpretations of events, shaped by his own beliefs and biases. Yet they provide a window into his mindset, his rationale, and the reasons he felt justified in his actions. Godse saw Gandhi's actions as a betrayal to Hindus and believed that the only way to protect his nation was through the assassination of Gandhi. The day of the assassination, January 30th, 1948, was a day that shook India to its core. The nation's beloved leader Mahatma Gandhi was shot dead by Nathuram Godse. Godse, a once fervent follower of Gandhi, had turned into his assassin. Godse's book, Why I Killed Mahatma, offers an intricate account of the fateful day. He describes how he approached Gandhi, who was on his way to a prayer meeting at Birla House in New Delhi. Godse bowed to Gandhi as if to seek his blessings, but then he pulled out a Beretta semi-automatic pistol and fired 3 shots into Gandhi's frail body. The Mahatma fell to the ground, his last words being, "Hey Ram," a call to God. The aftermath was immediate and widespread. Shockwaves of disbelief and grief swept across India and the world. The man who had led India to independence, who had championed non-violence and peace, was no more. The irony of his violent death was not lost on anyone. Godse was apprehended on the spot by members of the crowd. His trial was a highly publicized event. Godse defended his actions with a statement that lasted over 2 hours, justifying his deed as an act of patriotism. He believed that Gandhi's policy of appeasement towards Muslims during the partition of India had been detrimental to Hindus. The court, however, was unmoved by his arguments. Godse and his accomplice Narayan Apte were sentenced to death by hanging. The assassination of Mahatma Gandhi by one of his own countrymen sent shockwaves throughout India and the world. It highlighted the deep-seated communal tensions that had been brought to the fore by the partition of India. The divide between Hindus and Muslims, which Gandhi had worked so hard to bridge, seemed to widen in the wake of his death. Godse's actions on that fateful day forever changed the course of Indian history. His bullet not only ended the life of a revered leader but also marked a turning point in the nation's journey, setting the stage for a new chapter in Indian history. The assassination of Mahatma Gandhi by Nathuram Godse remains one of the most controversial events in Indian history. We have journeyed through Godse's life, delved into his motivations, and witnessed the chilling act of assassination and its tumultuous aftermath. We've seen how Godse, a once ardent follower of Gandhi, came to believe that Gandhi's policies were undermining India and its Hindu majority. The ripples of this event continue to reverberate today, stirring up debates about nationalism, religion, and the very fabric of India's identity. Some view Godse as a patriot, others as a murderer. The polarity of these perspectives underscores the complexity of this event and its enduring impact on India and the world. In examining this event, we're not endorsing Godse's actions, but seeking to understand them. Because whether one agrees with Godse's views or not, understanding his perspective helps us gain a deeper insight into this pivotal moment in history.